We wanted to really put some attention towards the issue of respectful workplace, and so the action plan started in June. We have a number of objectives, and within each objective we have a number of initiatives, all with the intent of creating workplaces for our employees that are professional, respectful workplaces where employees can reach their full potential, where leaders can flourish. And that's our goal. Well, this report was very interesting for us. It was the result of a proactive initiative on behalf of the commanding officer here in British Columbia, who really wanted to find out from employees, in their own words, what they were feeling and their experiences in the workplace. So it was an open invitation. It was a focus group forum extended to employees who wanted to come forward. The focus of the report was on solutions and where we needed to go. I was actually very pleased that so many employees did take that opportunity to come forward. We do hear on occasion that people might be a little bit reluctant, and what we found here was that employees did have enough interest and passion in the issue, and hope in the RCMP that they wanted to come forward and share their stories. I thought the candid report showed us that employees are trustful or have some trust in terms of sharing their experiences, and also hopeful that the organization will take that information and create initiatives, concrete initiatives to make our workplaces the best that they can be.
Now, I read the report and I did hear some of what you're saying about people at least trusting that process, but I'm not sure we read the same report, because I did read a lot about how, while sexual harassment is not rampant in the RCMP, it is significantly underreported.
Well, we have heard from our employees that reporting is a concern for them. At the same time, many are reporting. They're coming forward to say it's a concern. We are, as part of our Respectful Workplace Action Plan, is we do have initiatives specifically in place to try and alleviate that concern by creating respectful workplace advisors, so individuals that employees could access in their particular work areas, by creating an electronic reporting form that would be a confidential electronic reporting mechanism that would provide that information outside of their unit directly to outside to a specialized unit where we could bring some resources to bear to address the issue. So while we've heard it as a concern, we've listened to that, and we are looking to find and put initiatives and processes in place to address that.
One woman said it goes beyond an unwelcome joke. It's uglier than most people think, and that if you report harassment, they've seen what happens. Your life is made hell and management will intimidate you. The
important thing here is that people are expressing what their observations, their stories, and their experiences. I think we've listened to that, and we are working towards creating a work environment where those statements would never be repeated. I've had a lot of support for this action plan right from the bottom to the top. I've heard from a lot of employees, senior members, retired members, employees of all categories. And what we're putting in place is respectful workplace advisors. So we've selected individuals based on their credibility, their experience, to be those sounding boards, that touch point for employees to approach if they're having an issue in their workplace. And these individuals will have the authority and the support to bring that issue to the level that it needs to be addressed. If it's a very senior person, they will go outside of that work environment to someone more senior, or to someone that would have some kind of authority over that person. So we are addressing that as well. The electronic form that is in the works, that complaint will go right outside of the immediate unit and into a specialized unit that will take a look at that information and bring the appropriate resources to bear. Nobody, wants any employee to feel that they can't reach out. And while it is certainly, it's been expressed that it is a concern for people, it is their perception, and perception is reality, is that we are putting steps in place to assure them that their complaint will be addressed and that they can bring it forward, that it is important to us.
If I heard you correctly, you said immediately it's outside the unit already. Right now, today, if someone calls, someone outside the unit will investigate?
No, the respectful workplace advisors, I should clarify, they're actually have all been identified. We have 55 individuals throughout the province of British Columbia. We are doing our initial training with the first group in early November. So I can't say they're on scene right now, but in the very near future, those respectful workplace advisors, so every district, every program or business line in the RCMP in British Columbia will have at least one, and one or four. Some have several, depending on the size of the district or branch. But we'll have those individuals identified to be able to be that touch point. They won't investigate it, but they are.
So who will investigate?
They will connect the. And I guess in terms of the respectful workplace, it depends on the nature of the issue. It may be a personal conflict, it may be a conflict around performance, it may be harassment, it may be a conduct issue. So this person is there to ensure that the issue is connected with the solution. So in our case, we have various units that are specialized units and sections outside of the immediate work environment that would be tasked with intervening, with coming in and trying to resolve that issue in whatever process would be the most appropriate process for that issue.
Like, we've been recently given an example of a member who tried to complain about a boss sexually harassing her, and she was told there's nothing that can be done because that person is a member of the senior management team.
Well, any issue, whether it's harassment, as I said, or whether it's workplace conflict, is there are processes in place to deal with those issues, to address those issues. We have a harassment unit, we have a professional standards and a conduct unit, informal conflict management unit as well. So whatever the nature of the complaint is, it would go into the appropriate process and it would be addressed.
We heard the Deputy Commissioner announce that there were going to be 100 people trained to be sexual harassment investigators or harassment investigators. We've also been told by sources that the training didn't happen, that there wasn't enough funding. Can you clarify that? Have they been trained, and what kind of training?
Yes, there have been, and the exact number, very close to 100, and I don't have the exact number available, but yes, a number of individuals, approximately 100, have been trained as harassment awareness and investigators. So they have a dual purpose in the sense that they could provide some awareness training. They also could be called upon to do harassment investigations if required.
Can you help us with a reality check? Because I know we have certainly left the impression that sexual harassment is rampant, and here you are, an inspector, and clearly you've been able to be promoted and had a great career with the RCMP. Your sense of a reality check on how serious sexual harassment is in the force? My experience personally in the RCMP has been very positive. I am sensitive to the fact, however, that not every employee has had the same experience that I have had. What's important is that we agree that no amount of harassment is acceptable, and we're working towards zero harassment, which may seem like a lofty goal, but that's what we're aiming for. What are members telling you? Anybody pick up the phone and tell you their experience? Or I know there's a lot of frustration with seems like a barrage of negative media reports. I've heard from members that are very positive about the Respectful Workplace Action Plan. They're phoning up to say, I'm glad to see this plan in place. I'm excited about it. How can I help? A lot of offers to help people that would like to be involved if they could at their unit levels, and people that continue to share their experiences, their observations, and everything. While we cannot change the past, it can inform us moving forward.